Hello everybody, so regarding the EC saga, the government actually stepped in to have some, we call it as a cooling measure for some of the EC purchase to make it more challenging or more balanced in terms of be fair to the first timer. So in short, what we have today is the minimum occupation period actually changed from 5 to 10 years, and then they actually removed the deferred payment scheme, and at the same time the first timer quota jumped from 70 to 90%. And first timer priority window from 1 month changed to 2 years. And so in short, what actually happened is that the government make it a very clear message that they try to benefit first timer because lately a lot of EC have been fully sold, or more than 90% in day one fully sold within the 1 month window period. Is that they make it that the second timer actually come in to snap out all the units, and first timer actually don't have that kind of opportunity anymore. So they are trying to balance out in a way that first timer still get to enjoy it. At second timer, you already benefit from the first HDB you bought. So they try to make it that for these kind of chances, we leave it for first timer. You can see that actually government have been monitoring the whole situation. So this minimum occupation period, meaning to say if you buy an EC that is bid after 8th of May, your MOP period will be 10 years. So if you bought it on day one, then you need about 3 years for it to build. So all in all, you take about 13 years for you to sell and make your first pot of gold. So why we say 13 years? Because EC MOP period actually started from the day it actually got the TOP date, and it's not from the day you purchase the unit or even exercise for that option. It's totally different from condo. So from my personal perspective, so all these is my personal thinking process, so that you don't quote me. So what happened is that I feel that there are many different kind of parties being affected, benefit or not, from this whole changes. Like example, for buyers, if you're a first time buyer, you feel that it's fair because I got more chance to get the unit even within first 2 years, because you will not be like snapped out by the second timer so fast. Hopefully the developer will bid the land cheaper so that you can go in, hopefully. And then for second timer, you won't be able to get this benefit so fast, because you have to wait until 2 years later, and there are many parties being affected. So you just say about buyers, and then how about sellers? Some condo owners actually ask me, hey, so how else is this going to affect my pricing? Say yes, it may affect your pricing, and it depends on which area you are at. If you are the area that have a lot of EC coming up, you may be affected by them, but it also depends on timing. Like example, if they only be affected like after 10 years, that is so long later that maybe with a condo status, you already flip 3-4 times before they are going to MOP and sell their condo. And if you still don't know that, actually when you buy a condo today, once you exercise the option, it started the 4 years for the SSD in order for you to sell. Even you want to sell before 4 years is possible, but you need to pay a penalty. That is a flexibility when you buy a condo. But on the other hand, if you're going to buy EC, you can only do so after the MOP period. When you scrap off the deferred payment scheme, then they will be paying 2 installments at the same time if their first HDB haven't fully paid. Then there will be additional stress for them, because currently they are able to enjoy the deferred payment scheme. They don't need to pay the installment, the progressive payment until TOP date. So that's a flexibility that allows them to have when they buy any EC that is bidded before 8th of May. So the good news is, up till date, until now, there is still 1,970 units in the already launched units versus those they already bid but they're going to launch in the later a few months or even 1 year later. So if you want to know which are these units available, you can contact me at 91463337 so that I can explain to you further. But of course, during this time, you might be thinking, developer might take this opportunity to sell very high, because they know that those who not going to buy these they have a big headache if they're going to buy those at a later stage. So we also have to be very careful on developer pricing strategy to make sure that we still be able to get some benefit out from it. So these are there. At the same time, from developer point of view, after this, if they're going to bid for land, they also have to be careful, because when they bid for the next piece of development, they jolly well know that you will not be selling like hotcake for like Revel or Costa Cabana, who is selling so well. So they also have to be careful, because the longer they're going to stretch before it fully sold, they have to continue with the marketing strategy and continue with the rent of the show flat and pay the renter as well. So there's a lot of changes also, and it's no longer like those selling hotcake you can sell very, very fast. So that might be some strategy from the developer, and hopefully we can see developer trying to bid more price sensitive and then at a lower price, so that future EC buyer who they can actually go in at a lower price, although they need to wait 10 years for the MOP period. So there are a lot of pros and cons. It depends on what kind of situation you are in and what kind of plans you are at. Like example, today you are 30 years old. If you were to buy something that is going to MOP 14 years later, so by then you're 45 years old, maybe you still have opportunity for the next move. But if you're 40 years old, by then it's already 55 years old. I don't know about you. For me, I would think I will just treat it as a retirement home lah. So it depends on the age gap. It depends on which stage of life you are in, and what kind of units you are talking about. 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, and more importantly is also the kind of budget we can have. Saying that, if you are not aware that EC is the loan calculation is by MSR. So let's say example today your loan eligibility is you qualify for $1 million loan. If you're going for a condo, you actually qualify for about 1.8 million loan, because it's a 55% for TDSR versus 30% for MSR. So let's say example today you want to go into a $2 million EC, your down payment will be $1 million. Okay, but if you want to go to a condo that is $2 million, your down payment will be about 30%, that is about $600,000. So there's a gap of about $400,000, and it depends on the payment scheme also lah. So in this case, maybe you want to think about it. Is it necessary to really wait for an EC that you have to wait for 14 years for you to really think about selling? On the other hand, you can actually have lesser down payment for a condo that is at RCR today, 3-bedroom, 2 million or below. Then you can actually execute the transaction 4 years after your exercise. So instead of 14 years, you can actually take action in 4 years. So can I say that this is actually giving you more options and more buffer in terms of the timeline? If you want to know more what kind of projects we are talking about and what kind of options you can have, we can link up. Just give me a call. At the same time, kindly follow my YouTube channel so that you will know all my up and coming videos at the fastest time. See you.